Hey guys, let's start the session for the day. Right, so today I'll be coming up with another demo session for your PaloAlto and your F5 combination basically. Right, today we are going to discuss about the two technologies. The first one is your PaloAlto, which is a firewall, and F5, which is basically a load balancer device. Right now, in our previous session, we already covered a few more things like how to set up your PaloAlto device and all, right? But what I'll do is we will start with a scratch, right? Because there are few more people who are joining this session for first time, right? So what we'll do is we will perform some actions, and let me share you the agenda for the day that I already decided, that is pre-decided I could say, right? So this would be the agenda for the day. So today we are going to discuss about few more feature about your PaloAlto device and F5 LTM device as well, right? So today agenda for the day. So for first free session, the agenda for this session would be, first we will cover the PaloAlto, how PaloAlto firewall works and what is your firewall, right? And what is next generation firewall, what about your legacy firewalls and all, right? Apart from this, we will also cover we'll also perform some installation part, and we will take the initial management access to your of your PaloAlto firewall. Then we will configure the gateway and DNS, right? And then we'll move to, after your PaloAlto firewall, we'll move to the F5 LTM part, where we will discuss about the LTM, what is LTM device, what all things we can do with your LTM device, right? Apart from that, we will also cover the basic terminologies of your LTM load balancer. Clear guys? So before we start this session, let me introduce myself. My name is Manish Sharma, as you already know, right? So if I talk about my industry work experience, I do have 7+ of work experience in this industry. If I talk about the teaching industry, I am teaching from past 2.5 years, around 2.5 years I am in this teaching industry. So as of now I am working on firewalls, not only on PaloAlto firewall, I am working on multiple firewalls like your PaloAlto, FortiGate, and your checkpoint as well, right? Apart from that, F5, LTM, GTM, ASM and all technologies. Most of the technologies we are covering, right? So guys, for any query, again you can contact me on this number. So this would be the number, right? You can contact me for any queries, right? Next is, you can also drop me an email on this email ID, right, which is our official email ID. You can in case of any query, you can drop any email. Clear guys? So before we start this session, let me first show you the syllabus part, right? So what syllabus we are covering in PaloAlto and F5. So before we start the discussion about your device basically, or the PaloAlto firewall, let me show you the syllabus part. So this would be the syllabus for your PaloAlto firewall, right? Now in this syllabus, what all things we are covering now. So the first thing that we will cover would be the PaloAlto firewall, right? Apart from that, we will also cover how to configure your what is layer 3 interface, how to configure it, layer 2 interfaces, right? Tab interfaces, how to update your how to enable dynamic update or automatic update to your firewall, right? I'll show you that tab, right? Apart from that, I'll also let you know what is virtual router in Palo Alto Firewall, how does it work. Next is how to configure zone, interface configuration, NAT, PAT. Basically in Palo Alto Firewall we do have two types of NAT. The first one is source NAT and the next one is destination NAT. Clear? So there are two types of NAT. So we are going to cover both type of NATs, right? Then we will also configure the routing part, right? How to configure default route, how to give a static route from your firewall, right? Next is sorry, and the next would be your we will perform dynamic routing and static routing on your firewall. Then we'll move to NAT and PAT. Then we will configure some security policies, how to block, permit, deny any specific traffic and from any specific source. If you wanna, the good thing about your next generation firewall would be, now with next generation firewall, by using next generation firewall you can block traffic from countries as well, right? Suppose you don't want any traffic from China and USA and other countries, you just have to create one policy so that you can block the traffic which is coming from China and America, right? So these are some good things about your next generation firewalls, right? So that is called geolocation. We call it geolocation. So this is your feature in your next generation firewall. Now we'll talk about tags. So again, tags are similar to your VLAN, right? So in Palo Alto we say it tags, but in routing and switching we call it VLANs, right? So again, with Palo Alto device you can create VLANs, you can add port, members, IPs, so many things are there. Apart from that, we will also cover the DMZ, zone protection profiles, which is very important, and the DHCP service, app ID concept, right? Application ID and app dependencies, URL filtering, how to use your antivirus. So basically your antivirus, anti-spyware, vulnerability protection, file blocking, data filtering, these all topics are the part of content filtering, right? Next is security profile groups, SSL, decryption, encryption. Clear? So how to create, how to generate self-signed certificate on your Palo Alto firewall, user ID concept, wildfire, right? So today I'll show you, I'll let you know about the wildfire feature. So this is one of the best feature of this firewall. I'll let you know the concept behind this firewall, behind this feature, right? We'll also discuss about the HA, packet capture and ACC, which is basically your monitoring tab. Now this would be your Palo Alto syllabus and the next would be your F5. So guys, we are going to set up all the labs in our own computer. So something like you will not get any kind of server access where you have to configure all these things, right? I'll help you out with a home lab setup. You don't need to worry about it. That is very easy and simple. You just need one software, which is VMware. Apart from that, at least you must have 8 GB of RAM, right? So this is the pre-requirements for Palo Alto and F5 for both. Any question, guys, as of now? Any question? If you like to ask about Palo Alto, yes?
No questions.
No questions, thank you. So let me move to the next part, which is my F5 LTM, right? So what it says, your F5 LTM is basically a LTM device, right? Load balancer device. Now F5 LTM, we will cover what is F5 LTM, what types of modes available in F5 LTM, how we can perform load balancing. So again guys, your F5 device only not made to perform load balancing. Your F5 device can also perform SSL decryption, encryption, right? We can also enable NAT, PAT on your F5 device. Clear? Your F5 device can perform source NAT and destination NAT as well. Now, we will talk about the basic configuration of F5 LTM. Apart from that, what we will do is for F5 LTM we have to perform licensing. So we need license so that we can enable all the features. So I'll let you know how to license your device, right? So you have to register on f5.com for that, and you will get some keys. You have to put those keys to your F5 LTM device to activate your device. I'll let you know all the procedure step by step. Clear? So this would be your syllabus for F5 LTM device. Again, here you can see the NAT type, source NAT, SNAT, right? And so here it is SSL. So this is your CLI prompt, TM message, right? So here we called it CLI as a TM message, terminal shell, right? Next is virtual server and forwarding IP, virtual server. I'll let you know all the things. Again, with F5 we can create the high availability concept. It is same like HSRP, VRRP and GLBP. Clear? So this would be your F5 syllabus. Again, this is one of the most popular combination or combo, I could say, because nowadays most of the people, most of the job requirement would be same like this. The company required at least one firewall with F5 LTM. They need person with this combination, right? So again, if you are looking for job after doing this course or doing this syllabus and all things, after going through with all these things, that will definitely boost your CV, I could say. Even that would be very easy for you to find a job. Clear? Or find a work, I could say. So this would be the best combination. Again, if you have additional firewall knowledge, that would be plus point. Like some people already know about ASA, so that would be a plus point. Because nowadays, if I talk about the popular firewall, in top 3 firewall, or I could say the if I look at the Magic Quadrant report, again guys, so what is Magic Quadrant? Anyone know about it? Anyone has an idea about it? So let me tell you, we do have one company. The company name is Gartner. So here we can. The company name is Gartner, and Gartner is one company. What they do is they perform some researches, right? So Gartner is the world leading research and advisory company. We equip business leader with indispensable insight, right? And what they do is they do research, right? They do research on firewalls and other devices as well, right? Now on every quarter they release one report. They declare one report, like this kind of report, right? So this is for another technology, for data integration tools. So let me look at for firewall. So here the report for your firewall. Again guys, from so here you can see the PaloAlto is number 1 as of now, right? So this is not the updated one report. This this report got generated on November 2020, right? So again you can see the PaloAlto is again the number 1 firewall. Clear? That is the reason I am suggesting you all to at least add PaloAlto to your CV, so that you can boost up your career. And if you are looking for a good package, again that would definitely help you. So guys, if I talk about this leadership or this quadrant, right? This is your magic quadrant for network firewalls, right? So from past 3 to 4 years, no, everyone trying to compete with Palo Alto, but no one would be able to cross this Palo Alto networks. And if I talk about the next 4 to 5 years, again Palo Alto firewall would be the best. Now Cisco introduced with the FTD, but again guys, Palo Alto is still the best firewall. And if I talk about the tag profiles, again there are so many companies nowadays in India as well as US. They are hiring the people with the Palo Alto background. Clear guys? So again, that would be a good combination according to my research and all. Now if you want to join, you can join. Clear? Now the second firewall would be your Fortinet, and Checkpoint is also there. So so basically these are top 3 firewalls, I could say, right? Maybe next quarter or this quarter, your Checkpoint will move here and FortiGate go down here, but no one cross your Palo Alto, right? As of now. So that is the reason Palo Alto is very popular firewall. Clear guys? Now we already discussed about the syllabus part. Let me close it as of now, and so this would be our combination that we are starting as of now, right? So guys, you can join any 2 firewall, any single firewall, or maybe any 3 together, right? So this is your own choice. If you join a single firewall, that would cost you 8,500, right? This would cost you 8,500 for single firewall or single module, right? And if you want to join at least any two firewalls, or maybe F5, LTM and Palo Alto, then it would cost you at 8,000, right? Which is as per Indian currency. Clear guys? And this would be your class schedule. The regular class would be starting from today, which is every day we will be conducting this class Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for 2 hours each day, right? And the timing would be 8:30, which is fixed. Clear? So this is all about class schedule and the fee all about the fees as well. Clear? Now the people who are joining me from out of India, for that the fee would be different. It would be for each track, it would be $120, and for combo of 3-in-1 package, that would be $360. Clear? Now for any query regarding admission, again guys, you do have my contact number over here. You can connect with me on this number and you can drop me an email. Now guys, let me not spend so much time on that, and let us move to the topic for the day, which is Palo Alto firewall, right? Okay guys, before we start this session, let me ask you all a question. Any guys, what is your expectation from me or from this course? What exactly you are expecting?
Um, Hello.
Yes,
Like I
yes.
should be like hoping for that. Like all things will be covered
Mm-hmm.
in practicals.
In practicals,
Yes, all things, because mainly theory part is only for interview. But
right?
in companies now I can see if you have a less knowledge on practicals, then
Mm.
it's too much hard for that.
Right.
So
Yes, Pranav. So it would be I can say your theory part would be at least 30% if you are learning this firewall from me. So I focus on theory only 30%, right? And
oh, okay.
70% would be your practical part. Clear? Now let me tell you one thing very clearly. There are some topics like wildfire. For wildfire, we need to purchase subscription from your PaloAlto company, right? Which is not available with me because I am also
Okay.
using the unlicensed version. But yes, I know, and I'll let you know how to configure it, how to enable it. But just the verification part would remain pending. Means I would not be able to show you how it is working, how
Okay.
to verify it, right? But we can configure that feature. So
Okay.
yes, so there are such kind of limitation in case of Palo Alto, right? Because we do have unlicensed device and uh, for F5 LTM, yes, we do have licensed device. So for F5 LTM, I'll cover all the things like your load balancing, will perform all the things. So don't worry about F5 LTM. But for Palo Alto, there are some features
Okay.
they required
Thank you.
special license. Yes. Okay, guys. Any more requirements or any more expectation from this course or from me? Okay. No requirements. Okay. Yes. Yes, Anil.
Hello, Manisa.
Yes.
So my requirements would be after the completing this course,
Mm-hmm.
if anyone asks us any questions regarding the for Palo Alto or the F5
Mm.
at any level, so we will be
Yes.
able to answer his questions, either it
Yes.
is any interviews or if any other person asks us any questions, then we should be eligible to answer it properly.
Okay. Means you
Yeah.
you you would like to go for interview. Are you talking about the interview question and answers?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So for interview question and answers, I already covered some session. I do have some sessions which are only for Palo Alto question and answer. Apart from that, what I'll do is, if you want any special session, if you guys want after completing this course, you want me to go through with some interview questions, I'll go through with them all, right? I'll conduct one interview session and I'll cover at least 40-50 question on that same session. Otherwise, I'm
Okay.
100% sure if you are focusing on this course, you will not ask me any questions, definitely, for sure, if you are giving 100% of yours. Clear?
Okay. Okay. All right.
Sure. So I do have some PDFs with me. If you want question and answer, let me show you one file. So here we have one this file. This is for interview preparation guide, I could say, or certification guide. So here you have some question and answers, right? So this is just for Palo Alto. I do have for F5 as well. So you can get this with me, right? So here we have around 30, 50 questions, 50, 48, right? 48 questions with answers. I'll share you this file. Now, uh, okay, guys, let me show you some class notes as well, right? So basically, on daily basis, I'll be sharing you these type of class notes. Suppose today we have discussed about the firewall fundamentals, right? Now we already discussed about like what is firewall, how does it work. So you will get these kind of notes each and every day, right? Each and every day, or I could say every uh, end of the session every day, right? You will get this book or class notes file from me on your email. And the next thing is, I'll show you one sample notes with lab, right? So I'll also share you on daily basis these kind of labs, right? So basically these screenshot would be very helpful if you want to perform lab at your home, right? You just have to follow the steps: step 1, step 2, step 3. That's it. Suppose you want to configure DNS and NTP setting, just go to the device tab, setup and services, then click on add it, and enter a primary and secondary DNS server. So you can see the primary and secondary DNS server. So this file comes up with the theory plus screenshots so that you can easily configure your firewall. So that would be very beneficial for you all guys. Clear? So again, I do have a few more lab workbooks. So this is just a one workbook with all answers, right? So I'll share you these kind of books on daily basis. Apart from that, I'll share you some official books about your PCNSA and PCNSE. So let me show you that book as well. So so this would be your PCNSA study guide, right? I already shared this book with you guys, but if you want, you can get this from me, right? So this is the updated one in 2020. So here you can see all the topics mentioned over here, and you can you can learn about the architecture part and all things from this book, right? So this is your official book. I always suggest you all guys to go through with the official book only. Clear? Now apart from this, I'll also be going to share you one source to learn PaloAlto firewall, which is here. So docs, so this is the URL docs.paloaltonetwork.com, where you will find the answer of your all questions. Suppose we want to configure source.net, enter. Now click on source.net. So this is your online guide, I can say, right? Now what is source.net, everything is there about source.net. Source.net is typically used by internal user to access the internet. The source.net is translated and thereby kept private. There are three type of source.net: DIPP. Basically, we are talking about only your PaloAlto firewall. In PaloAlto firewall, we have DIPP, which is dynamic IP and port, translated address, dynamic IP and static IP, right? So I'll let you know about all the options. Don't worry about it. So this would be another helpful tip from my end, right? I'll give you so many tips about it, so you don't need to worry about it. Clear? Now, because if I talk about tech people also use this tech docs, right? The customer care people who are basically working in tech profiles with PaloAlto, they use this link to perform all the actions, right? Or to perform any kind of troubleshooting. Now, guys, we already discussed about what is firewall in previous session, but let me, as this is my procedure to start any firewall, let us discuss about this again. And so guys, just start giving me answer very quickly. The first question is, what is firewall? Anyone? A simple answer. I don't want a theoretical answer. I don't want a computerized definition. Just share your thoughts. That's it. Yes, Avinash, Pranav, Vivek, Shravan.
So firewall is a security device with which we can monitor the packet flow. We can yes, we can monitor the packet flow. We can control the data to which device it should be delivered, to which not.
Mm-hmm. Right. So basically, firewall is a device. Basically, why we use firewall? Uh, Let me give you one of the best example. Right. Why? And what's the reason we use firewall instead of router? Why don't we use router? Because also has uh, my router also has ACL. Then why we use firewall? Why don't we use router with ACL?
Because maybe router is not able to handle
it
this
has
much
the inspection table.
policies.
Yeah,
On
one
the
by one.
basis of
Yeah, Vivek, your voice is not clear. What you can do is you can type in the chat box.
So can I ask
Yes, yes,
uh,
yes.
okay.
the main difference why the firewall is used, not the router, because I believe that the the work of firewall uh, is for proper securities, and with the routers we can set some limitations, some limit for the policies. By configuring too many policies, maybe the router will face some load on its memory, its CPU utilization. That's
Mm-hmm.
why.
Mm. Okay, okay.
Even I faced this question in an interview, and at the time I was not able to answer it properly.
Not an issue. I'll let you know the answer. Yes, Vivek.
So basically, it is the inspection table
Mm-hmm.
from the port and protocol.
Okay. Okay, okay, okay. So let me give you a good example so that you can understand the reason behind the router and firewall, right? So Vivek was saying the same thing, right? Let me show you a scenario, right? Let me give you a scenario. Now, guys, let me talk about the basic requirement of a company. Every company required two things. They has two requirement. The first requirement is people or inside to outside mm, people can communicate from inside to outside. So this would be my first requirement. Clear? Now, what is my second requirement? Now, my second requirement would be I could say X users or unknown people from outside won't be able to access my inside network. Clear? So these are two basic requirements of each and every company, right? They don't want any person from outside to inside. Now, let me show you one diagram. Now, suppose this is your router. This is your internet. Switch. User A. You also have one server. You have user B as well, right? Now you have two users and one server, which is the part of your inside network. This is your inside network, this interface basically. This is your out interface, which is the part of your outside network. Now, okay guys, so this is your router, this is not your firewall. Suppose can we fulfill first requirement by using router? Can we do that? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we can do that. How we can do that? We just have to enable NAT. We have to enable NAT for inside to outside, right? And we just have to enable NAT. That's it. Your first requirement is done. And the next requirement. Now, can we do we able to proceed with the second requirement? Can we configure your second requirement on this router? Yes, no? Maybe.
Yes, by creating the ACL.
Okay, how we can create this ACL? Okay, we can create ACL where we can block all outside people, right? Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to create ACL and we have to give a statement which is deny any, and we have to activate that ACL on outside interface. Clear? So if this is your router device, then we are using ACL. Now let me give you one situation in the same scenario. Now suppose here you have one server. Basically, this the IP address of this server would be 8.8.8.8. So this is your server. Clear? And now user A wants to access this server. User A would like to access this server. Now guys, everyone know about the three-way handshake? Everyone knows it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now,
Yes.
so before,
Yes.
before, right. So in three-way handshake, we have three packets: SYN plus ACK, and then acknowledgement, right? We do have three packets. Now, everyone know about, first we have to perform three-way handshake, then only we would be able to transfer or receive any kind of data, right? First we have to perform three-way handshake with the server, then only we would be able to download or upload some files.
Yes.
Clear? So this is just a basic requirement. Now suppose user A wants to communicate with your server, which is 8.8.8.8, right? Now user A is sending its first SYN packet. Now once your router receives this packet, as per the policy, your router will directly forward this request by performing the NAT, and it will forward this request to the server. Now your server got the SYN packet. Now your server will send the reply packet again. Now suppose, so this is your second packet, SYN plus ACK. Clear? SYN plus ACK. Now the server is sending it back, but here you have one ACL which says deny any. Which says deny any. It means your connection request will directly get dropped. If you don't have a valid three-way handshake connection, you won't be able to communicate with the server. Guys, do you understand the concept behind it?
Yes, sir, got it.
Got it? So that is the reason we never use router. We never use router because your router performing a static packet filtering. Static packet filtering means only those are allowed who are mentioned in this ACL. Right, guys? So again, if I talk about your first requirement, you won't be able to configure your first requirement and second requirement as well. If I talk about the second requirement, you can block all the people. But suppose if you have some users who are sitting, who are your employee of the company, right, and they also want to access your server, which is inside of your company. Now in that situation, how you can permit your users, because they are connected through internet and they are getting dynamic IPs. They don't have a static IP. So that is the reason, guys. There are so many reasons behind it. We won't be able to use router instead of a firewall. Any question in this?
So the first requirement can be, I think, fill in this router. The people can communicate from inside. We will create the rule from inside interface and the outside interface also.
Yes, we can do that. But again, if you are getting
only the port number is that, so we have to allow from the outside. Because from inside the user we will request, suppose on port number 443. Okay, so here we know the port number, but from the outside we don't know the source port, so we cannot define it. So that's why we have to allow the any port.
Guys, if you allow any port number, in that situation, suppose this is your ex user, this is your hacker, right? He will send you any kind of packet by using that port number. Because one more reason behind that, my router not performing.
That is the advantage of it.
Again, my router don't have antivirus profile. My router not is scanning your packet with anti spyware, right? My router not performing URL filtering. There are so many reasons behind it. Clear? So
Yes.
So anyhow you can permit the traffic, but again you will definitely get stuck somewhere. I'm sure. Here, now there are so many reasons.
Yes, it is not a secure.
Not only secure, but you won't be able to perform these two requirements with your router. Again, you suppose if you are getting dynamic IP, means how many of IPs you are going to allow on your firewall statically on router. So at least you have to create a lakhs of static ACLs to your router to permit any specific traffic, right?
So can we not set the URL filtering on the router?
No.
Okay.
So there are lots of reasons we don't use router in real times, right? No. Let me move to the next part, which is firewall. Right, guys? Now, firewall performs stateful firewall filtering, right? Stateful means it maintains the state. Now, let me show you an example. Suppose this is your firewall and this is your in interface. Again, this would be your out interface. Now, here you have one server with this IP address. Now, user A wants to communicate with the 8.8.8.8. Now, we are using firewall instead of router. Now, let's talk about the first requirement, which is inside to outside communication is allowed. Again, you have to simply configure a NAT, and we have to create one policy as well on firewall to permit traffic from inside to outside. Right now, if I talk about your PaloAlto firewall takes the decision on the basis of zones. Right, your PaloAlto firewall makes the decision on the basis of zones. Clear? Now, next point. So your first requirement is done. Now let's talk about the second requirement. So second requirement says people from outside. Suppose you have one user which is X user. Now people from outside won't be able to access my inside server. This is your server. So I don't want anyone from outside to access my inside network. Right now, to perform this task, again, let me take one example over here. Suppose you have user A which wants to communicate with this server which is 8.8.8.8. Now in this situation, my user sending a SYN packet, which is my first packet, SYN packet. Now again, what my firewall doing? My firewall performing or making an entry, right? My firewall contains an entry for each and every packet. Now suppose this is your 10.1 and it will create one entry into the connection table. We call it connection table. It generates a connection table 10.1 and it also write the packet name, SYN packet, right? And the destination as well, 8.8. Clear? Now, suppose user A sending SYN packet to the server. Now, your server received this SYN packet by checking the policy and NAT. After checking these two things, we got your server will receive the SYN packet. Now your server will generate one reply. Definitely, it will generate one reply. Now, once we receive the reply on this and outside interface, my firewall is going to check this table. We call this table connection table. This is your connection table slash there is another name. Okay, state table and connection table, right? So connection table. So once we receive the packet on this outside interface, my firewall will directly look at the connection table. If the packet goes match with the connection table, then it would be passed to the user. Otherwise, it would be dropped over here. If any packet does not match with the connection table or policies or any NAT translation, then my firewall will drop that kind of traffic and other traffic would be permitted. So again guys, your second requirement also got fulfilled by using a firewall device instead of using a router. Guys, have you got my point?
Yes, sir.
Clear? So that is the reason we use firewall instead of router. Right? My firewall has a connection table. Now,
Okay, so there is a question. Okay. So suppose source A send suppose source A request for the server, okay, and it is passing through the firewall, okay, but server did not reply it, and it contain a table, stateful inspection table, okay, connection table. So how much time it will contain if the server did not reply it back? So how much time it will contain this information?
60 minutes. 60 minutes.
60 minutes.
Yes, after 60 minutes, 1 hour of time, my connection table will be flushed. Right, it will remove all the entries. But guys, let me tell you one thing. Every server has one thing. Your every server, if I talk about any server, right? Any server, we configure. I'm talking about the real-time environment. I'm taking a real-time environment example. Maximum we can generate 3 SYN plus ACK request for every SYN packet. Maximum 3. Every server sends only 3 packets. Suppose if you want to access your net banking website, right? Suppose you want to access any net banking website, only you will get 3 attempts to log in. After that, your password would be directly blocked. Your account would directly be blocked. Right, so that you cannot perform any kind of attacks on a particular server. So this is just a attack prevention mechanism, I could say, right? So server, if your server will not receive any kind of acknowledgement, it will send 3 SYN plus ACK packet. The fourth one will not be sent by any server, whether it is Google and other server. On ISP as well. Done?
Okay.
Okay guys, any question about it? So I already shared with you all guys the OVA file, but if you want this OVA file, I'll put you in the description box. You can download that file from that link, right? Now let me not waste your much time on this. Okay, let me set up a firewall which basically we are going to use to perform all the practicals, right? Now so this would be your final installation steps, which I am going to tell you now. So again guys, you can download this file from the Google Drive link, right, which I already shared with you, and even I already shared the access of that file to many people, around 200-300 plus people are now they have downloaded this file. Okay guys, so again I'll share you one OVA file. You need at least your checkpoint device with you. Sorry, not checkpoint device, your VMware machine installed in your computer, right? So this is your VMware machine. Now let me close these all things. Done. Clear? Now, so we are going to start with a fresh installation of PaloAlto firewall, and we will also talk about some more good feature about your PaloAlto firewall. So this would be your detailed session, as this is your day 1 of class. So just give me a moment, because so the copy is going on. I need few more seconds. So just be ready with your VMware machine, and let me talk about the adapters, guys. How many of you understand these adapters? How many of you know about it? Anyone?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So, but let me explain.
Yes. Yes.
Explain it for others. Yes. Yes. Good. If you know about it, very good. But let me explain it for you now, guys. During the classes, what I'll be doing, I'll be creating this kind of diagram. Basically, this is your checkpoint one, but don't worry about it. Don't get confused. So this kind of network diagram we would be using this kind of, right? So now in this network diagram, I have few points like suppose this is your firewall, which is PaloAlto firewall. Now on the left hand side you have outside interface. This is your inside interface, and you need one more interface which is DMZ. Clear? Now guys, let me talk about what is DMZ zone. I'm going to use the same IP addressing for my DMZ zone. This would be your IP addressing, and this would be IP addressing for your inside, and this is for outside, right? Again, this is your firewall. So today we are going to install this firewall. We are also going to configure DMZ zone, and we will also configure the inside interface of my firewall, right? So this would be the agenda for the day. So basically this would be the diagram that we are going to cover during this firewall course, right? So this kind of setup, I'll help you that out about this slab setup. If you have any question, you can ask me, right? You don't need to worry about it.
Manish sir, I have a question.
Yes.
So I have always this confusion between the DMZ zone and why it is used DMZ zone. Why we are using this?
Right question. Yes, because I was expecting the same question from you guys. So let me discuss about the DMZ zone. What is DMZ zone? Anyone?
DMC is a demilitarized zone.
Right, but what's the concept behind it?
We use this for suppose external server. Suppose this server or this DMZ is communicating from. If someone is malicious traffic, or some person is just trying to just fetch up the data, that only in fact only that particular zone, he cannot communicate to the inside zone.
Okay, you are right. Again, so let me show you one example. This is your firewall. Now my firewall has three legs, or I could say three interfaces. One is your outside interface, another one is your inside interface, and this is your DMZ interface. Clear? Inside, outside, and DMZ. Now guys, let me tell you the real reason behind using a DMZ zone. So let me take an example of it. Suppose here you have your web server. This is your web server where you have where is your company website located, right? Suppose this is your web server where your company website is hosted, I could say, right? So now we have internal users, We also have external users. So many internal and external users, right? Now this would be your user A, which is your internal user, and you have n number of users. Suppose user B is there, user C is there, right? And this is your DMZ zone. Now let me do one thing. Let me remove this DMZ zone as of now, and let me move this server. Okay, let me move this server over here, right? Suppose this is your server, and this server also connected with this switch. This is your switch, and this is user A, and this is server. Now I'm not using a DMZ zone now. Okay, I'm not using any DMZ zone. This is your, this server is located in your inside zone. Now suppose we have some users, user B, user C, which are connected from the internet, and they want to access this server from outside, right? And the IP of this server would be 10.10.10.10, and this is your 10.1. Clear? Now B wants to access this server. Now simply B would send the request to the firewall, and your firewall will check the policy and would forward this traffic to the server, right? Simple. Now suppose you do have one more user on the internet, which is user X, or the hacker, right? So this would be your user X. Clear? Now this user X, definitely guys, your website or any web server which is always exposed to the public. Clear? Suppose here you have one website, your company name is networkbuddies.com. Clear? Now in that situation, every genuine user like B and C, they would be easily able to get the access. But in case of X user also going to perform all the attacks to your network buddies. If he got the access of your server, definitely he can reach with your other user as well. If you put this server in your inside zone, then he would be able to access your internal users as well. Am I correct? If you put this server in your inside zone, it means he would also get access of your other users like A, B and C.
Yes, correct.
So in those kind of situation, what we can do is the servers which are publicly exposed, which we want to expose publicly, we create a next zone, right? A different zone for those, which is called as a DMZ zone, which we called it a DMZ zone, right? Now this is your DMZ zone. So we put those server in DMZ zone who are publicly exposed. Only those server we are going to put on DMZ zone. If we put these server in your internal network, it means your internal network would not remain private. It means if user reaching to your server, it means he can definitely would be able to access your other devices of your inside network. So that is the reason we create a different zone, which is known as a DMZ zone, where we have publicly exposed server. Yes, any question? No. So that is the reason we always create DMZ zone. Now if we create a different interface for DMZ zone, that would be a good point. Why? Now suppose if user X sending any kind of request, my firewall will direct send this request to DMZ zone. It will never ever send this request to your inside zone. Not at all. So for security reasons, we are creating a DMZ zone, right? Again, to send or receive any kind of traffic, your firewall is going to perform some kind of checks. It will check your NAT policy, your security policy. Apart from that, it will also check the port numbers, what port numbers are open on your firewall and what port numbers are not open on your firewall. Clear? So this is the concept behind DMZ zone. Now guys, let me, okay, any question? No question guys. So let me start with the installation process of our PaloAlto device, which we are going to use over here. So go to the files, open, and you just have to locate the OVA file. That's it. Double click on it, just open and give it a name. Clear? Now click on import. It will take 2 to 3 minutes to import it. Again guys, your firewall, if I talk about the physical device of your PaloAlto firewall, it will come up with a default management interface IP, which is 192.168.99.1, right? You will find that IP on the behind of your device, right? And you will also find that IP with the manual of your firewall. Clear? So what you have to do is you just have to connect your firewall. Let me show you the device as well. Okay. So before we talk about the PaloAlto, so guys, here in PaloAlto, we do have some series like 200 series, right, which is for small medium kind of companies. 200 series, 800 series, 5000 series, 7000 series. Now let me show you the website. So this is your official website for your PaloAlto, right? So your PaloAlto is 9 times of your leader from last 9 reports. Now so guys, here we have the series. Now 7000 series, which we mostly use for data centers, right? 5000 series again for higher capabilities, which we mostly use for data centers. Again the 3200 series, right, multi-gig through output with extremely versatile, right? So this is for medium businesses, and for small medium businesses we can use 220R and 800 series. Clear? So So these are some series of your PaloAlto firewall. Very easy. Only 200 series, 800 series, 3000, 5000 and 7000 for high-end series. Clear? Again, if you want to learn more about any firewall, what you can do is just click on it and you will get one data sheet. So this would be the hardware architecture for each and every firewall. Right, you can look at the hardware architecture. So today I'll be deploying the PaloAlto 200, 220 basically. So don't worry about this guys. We will discuss about this data plane, management plane and all things. We will discuss about the hardware architecture as well. So here you have the datasheet option, download datasheet. So if you download this datasheet, you will get to know about PA220 firewall. You will get to know about all the things on this PA220 firewall. Just click on download and you will get this type of sheet. Now it will show you the capabilities of this firewall. So this is the through output, right? This is the capability of your threat prevention through output. This is your IPsec VPN through output, which is 540 Mbps. Maximum session 64,000 maximum session we can maintain with this firewall. Clear? Now next session per second 4300. So there are some basic things about this specific version of firewall. Right, it is available with 10 gig, 100 gig and 1000 out of band management port, and there would be one console port, one USB port is there, one USB console port is also available with 32 GB of eMMC, right, memory card. Clear? And this would be your power supply and all things. Done. So this is how how you can you will get to know about any specific firewall. Now let me move back to the part which is the installation part. Now guys, I am going through with the configuration. So just click on Edit Virtual Machine, right? And if you don't have enough memory, you can perform it with the 4 GB. I'll share you one more OVA file. So this would be your 9.0 version, and I'll send you one more OVA file which is for the version for that file would be 8, right? So that would be your OVA file again, PaloAlto 8. Now, so I do have 5.5 GB RAM available, so I'm not going to change it, but if you want, you can make it 4 GB, right? Now, okay, so let me tell you the concept or the reason behind choosing these adapters. Now, if you want 3 interfaces on your firewall, in that situation you have to create 3 adapters, right? So guys, you have to set up these adapters initially. Suppose if you are going to install it freshly, on that time you have to create these 3 adapters. Clear? If you want your firewall with 3 interfaces, in case you have to create 3 adapters. If you only want 2 interfaces, suppose this is your firewall, you want only inside and outside interface, in that situation you need only 2 adapters, you don't need the third adapter, right? So this is your virtual lab, that is the reason I am telling you this option. Now so what I am going to use is, as of now I am going to use only 2 adapters, right? The first adapter would be your VMnet 1 and the second adapter would be bridge. So in that situation, suppose this is your PaloAlto firewall and this firewall has only 2 interfaces, one is for inside and the another one is for outside. Clear? One is inside and the another one is outside. Now, so VMnet win, click on OK. That's all. We have to configure only two things. Now, let's look at your VMnet 1 setting. So this is your VMnet 1 setting. So on VMnet 1 second, you can look at the IP address, which is 10.1.0.0. Clear, guys? So again, you have to configure this same IP so that you can take the access of your firewall by using your system browser, by using your computer, right? So these are some virtual adapters created by your VMware workstation. VMnet 1 is a virtual adapter. VMnet 2 is a virtual adapter, right? Let me show you how to check virtual adapters. Just right click on it, Wi-Fi icon, your network icon. Go to the Open Network and Sharing Center and click on this option, change adapter option. Just click on it. Now here you can see we have one Bluetooth network adapter because this is my laptop, and Ethernet adapter, Wi-Fi adapter. Here you can see VMware network adapter, VMnet 1. Let me show you the IP address of this adapter details. So this would be the IP address, 10.1.0.1. Clear? So this is your virtual adapter. Now this adapter working as a gateway for you. Clear? So I am going to use this VMnet 1 adapter just for management purpose, or yes, as of now I am using this adapter for management purpose. Clear? So let me tell you the diagram. Suppose this is your firewall. My firewall has two interfaces. One is your inside and the next one is your outside. Clear? Now your in interface, from in interface I am also managing my device, right? And from outside I'll let you know how to connect from outside. Now as of now, just configure your adapter same like this. You need at least two adapters, and one is for VMnet 1 and one is for bridge. Bridge means if you select the bridge mode in VMware, in case of VMware, it means your all adapters got merged together. Suppose if you have Wi-Fi adapter, right, LAN adapter, and your VMware adapter. So if you choose this bridge option, it will merge all three adapters with together. So that would be known as a bridge. It means you will also get the internet connectivity by using this bridge, right? So this is the main reason, this is the logic behind this bridge, right? Again guys, you have some options over here. You can configure your network adapter in multiple ways. In bridge mode, connect it directly to the physical network. Yes, any question?
So bridge is basically from our PC to the firewall.
Yes.
So our PC can ping to the firewall, or we can access the firewall.
Internet.
Correct?
Yes, we can access the internet from my firewall. Clear? So I am not going to use NAT host only. Don't worry about it, guys. Just do the same setup, right? If you face any issue, you can connect with me. Now click on OK and just power on this machine. Now again, this is your PaloAlto firewall, which comes with a default username and password, which is admin. Username is admin and the default password would be admin. So it will take around 4 to 5 minutes. Okay guys, meanwhile let me show you one thing. So today, after end of this session, or by tomorrow, I'll be sharing one zip file. Basically that zip file contains 3-4 things, like I'll be sharing you some files. Let me show you those files. So this would be the package for day 1, right? As today we are going through with the day 1 of class. So I'll be sharing these 4 files, right, over your email. So I would request you all to just drop your email in the chat box, or you can share your email address over the WhatsApp as well, right? So that I can keep on sharing you these kind of files and all. Clear? Otherwise, one more option, I'll also drop all those files to the WhatsApp group. So in this PaloAlto interview question and answer, again you have around 50 question and answers. I'll share you one more file. Let me show you that file, but that file does not have any answers. It comes up with only question. So guys, if I talk about checkpoint session, we already done the checkpoint session in my previous class. So today mostly we are focused only on your PaloAlto and F5 LTM, right? So again guys, it will take some time. Okay, before don't worry about it, just let it take its time, and let us discuss about some points about your LTM device. Clear? Now guys, how many of you understand the LTM device? What is F5 LTM?
I am actually new for that topic.
Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem. If you are new for the topic, not an issue. I'll make you understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone guys who would like to answer about F5?
Uh, so for the F5, like I know that it's for load balancing, but I don't know what are its versions, like F5, LTM, GTM, or any some more are there, right?
Yes.
LTM, CTM. So I don't know about this all the versions, but the F5 is for load balancing.
Okay. So basically,
F5 is a device which work on layer 7, and LTM is the local traffic manager, and GTM is global traffic manager,
right.
which balance the load if we have the multiple server, which it
Right.
creating the virtual IP.
Right.
Correct?
Yes. Yes, guys. Again, so you are correct. So your F5 LTM is basically a load balancing device. So apart from load balancing, it also performs so many tasks. Now, so this is the main company, f5.com. Clear guys? This would be your company, f5.com. This is the main company who are creating these kind of devices that we use nowadays for load balancing purpose. Now, let me give you example. Let me show you a device if it is available. So products. Okay, so here we go. Solution, Big IP. So Big IP is the name of the operating system of this device, right? In PaloAlto, we call it PanOS. PaloAlto operating system, we call it PanOS. Clear? So this would be your data sheet. Okay, I would like to show you some devices instead of data sheet. So this is your F5 LTM device basically. So your F5 LTM device comes up with some ports, right? And your F5 LTM device works on layer 7, right? We also known as application device or application layer device, we can say it, right? So this is your LTM device. Now let me share some knowledge about your F5 device. Now suppose this is your internet. This is your internet, right? Now this is your internet and this is your LTM device basically, right? And on the left hand side you have some users, home user, remote user, or maybe the mobile user, and here we have some servers basically, right? What kind of servers? Web servers. Here you have web server 1, web server 2, web server 3. Total you have 3 servers, and this is your ISP, and you have remote users like computer, laptop, mobile phone and other users, and we do have one website running on the server which is www.example.com. Now basically we have this device on data centers, right? Now suppose this home user would like to access your web server which is over here. Now it will send the request over here, and your web server, basically your LTM device which is your F5 LTM device, it will receive that request and it will decide where we have to send this request. Now if your LTM device got first request, it will send to the first server. Suppose now at the same time, if your LTM device got the second request, it will forward the second request to second server. If same time your F5 LTM got third request, your F5 LTM will share the third request on third server which is available. So this is how we perform load balancing by using this device, right? If we use any router, firewall, we cannot perform these kind of load balancing, right? Now there are so many methods available in this device. Now one of the best method, we call it round robin method, right? So this is your round robin method. In that method, once we receive any request, it will divert it to first server, then second server, then third server, right? So this is how my LTM device performs load balancing, right? Apart from this, my load balancing device can also perform NAT, source NAT, destination NAT, and we can also create some virtual server on it. So guys, to map all the servers with the LTM, you have to create HTTP pool. Clear? Suppose you have,
Hello,
if you
Manish,
have,
sir.
yes,
Sir, the round robin is the only option to for load balancing, or we can configure it as like 75% load should be on this server and
yes, we can do
25% load.
that. We can do that. We can do that.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So in for that situation, we have to give it a ratio. We call it ratio, right? So yes. So suppose we want this server is capable to accept 10 requests, manage 10 requests at a time. So we have to assign a ratio. and this server would be able to accept only 5 requests at a time, right? So this is so because this server has the lowest memory and this server has a higher CPU and higher RAM, so again the request also got higher, and this server only capable for 2 requests at the time, right? Only able to handle only 2 requests. So we can also perform these kind of things, right, by using LTM device. So we have to configure this setting to your F5 LTM device. Again guys, LTM, we have LTM, GTM and ASM. As of now we are talking about LTM. So LTM is your local traffic manager. It means you are going to install that device to your data center. Now GTM is your global traffic manager, right? Okay, let me show you one PDF for GTM. So this would be the scenario for your LTM only, right? Now, in case of multiple data center, we put GTM device. Suppose you have DC1, DC2 and DC3. Now you have to put one GTM device so that you can manage the requests. Now GTM device is connected with your LTM device. Clear? So again guys, LTM has a different concept, GTM has a different syllabus, and your ASM also has a different syllabus. Clear? F5.
Oh, okay. Manish, just sorry.
Yes.
So you will cover the web also, web application firewall?
No dear, because your WAF is totally a different thing, right? So I'll not be covering the WAF module as of now. But if you want to join in future, if we start WAF, definitely I'll let you know about it.
Okay.
Yes. As of now, we are starting with F5 LTM. But if you would like to learn about it, definitely I'll be adding you to the next batch. Okay guys, so this is your LTM device, which is basically the agenda for the day. Now let us move back to the PaloAlto device. So here we go. So today we are going to do some initial setup of this firewall. Just log in with admin, and here you can see my firewall got one IP address from DHCP server. This is the IP address 10.1.0.128 DHCP server. You got this IP address from DHCP server, and this would be the mask, right? So guys, by default your firewall comes up with the DHCP server setting. I am talking about virtual firewall, not the physical firewall. If I talk about physical firewall, your physical firewall comes up with a static IP configuration, right? You will find that IP on the manual of your firewall, which is 192.168.99.1. Clear? Now guys, I have successfully logged in to this firewall by using the username and password, which is admin and admin, right? Now it says your device is still configured with the default admin account credentials. Please change your password before performing any changes. Clear? Now guys, let me show you some commands. Now we have to check the interface IP address, management interface IP address. So the command to check the management interface IP address, show interfaces, show interfaces all. So as of now we don't have any active interface, that is why it is saying 0. So show management, show interface management, enter. Now this would be the IP address for your management interface, but this is your DHCP configured IP address. Now let me tell you the way to configure your management interface by using the workbook which is here. Just follow this workbook, very easy to understand. So this is kind of short notes. So we already logged in with the username and password, which is admin. Show interface management. So this would be the IP address that we got from DHCP. Now we have to go to the configuration mode. How we can go to the configuration mode? Just type configure command. Now let me move here and let's type configure. Enter. Now we are in configuration mode of this device. Now set device config system, type question mark. Now you have two options, one is DHCP and static. Now if you select static, in that situation you have to provide a static IP address, but if you select DHCP, in that situation you will get the IP address by using DHCP. So first you have to choose it as a static. So this is your first command. Next command is set device config system IP hyphen address. Again guys, same like Cisco, you can use question mark, you can use tab to complete any command, right? Same like Cisco. Now give it IP address. So 10.1.0.100 and question mark. So the next command is net mask. You have to give it a net mask 25.0. You can also configure default gateway .0 space default gateway 10.1.0. Enter. Clear guys? So before you whenever you perform any changes, always save your changes. To make save changes, just you have to type one command, which is commit. Okay. So now it will take again few more minutes. Let me go to the run prompt and open a CMD and just ping your device, which is 100. Okay, it says request timeout. Okay, let me look at the management interface. Show interface. First we have to exit from configuration mode. Show interface management. this would be the new IP 10.1.0.100.
Disable and enable the port from the virtual network editor.
From CLI.
No. From the virtual network editor.
Instead of doing that, what we can do is we can directly reboot this firewall.
Okay.
So just restart it. Again, it will take few more minutes, but that would be a permanent fix for us.
This issue I usually face in the EVM, like EV.
Yes, EVNG.
In
right?
that, EVNG. In that case, I have do that thing, disable, enable, that it will redirect to directly.
Right, but if you use VMware workstation in that situation.
VM only. This same workstation I'm using.
Okay, but okay, right. Okay, but I don't do that. I always recommend everyone to just restart your firewall.
Okay.
It is going to take some time, but that would be a permanent fix. Next time, yes, next time you will not face this issue if you do that. Still I am getting request timeout. It will take few more seconds.
Admin.
Yeah, again it will take some time because my firewall is initializing. It will not accept the username and password as of now. It will take few more minutes. It is initializing in the background. You will got another login, HDA login, then only you would be able to access your firewall. You have to wait for at least 4 to 5 minutes before you try to log in again. So guys, let me show you the next step we done with the set device config system IP address net mask, right? Now, yeah, we can use this keyword, run keyword, to run any command which is available on your user exec mode, right? Just put run and type your command. Again guys, you can see we got the ping reply, so you can directly match all those things by using this sample nodes. Now let me try to log in my firewall. Okay, let me give you one more tip. So there is one more reason we are facing this issue, because we have configured the default gateway by using CLI. So that would be the another reason, because this is your virtual firewall, guys. But if I talk about a real firewall, a physical real firewall, you will not face those kind of issues on those firewalls. Done. I got logged in. Now set device config. System IP hyphen address. Now 10.10.1.0.100 and net mask 255.255.0. Let me change it to 111. Commit. This time I have not configured any default gateway. Okay, again the same problem. Okay, let me use your tip. Go to the settings. Okay.
Not this one. You just go in virtual private network editor. In that,
Okay. This one.
yeah, it's enabled. It's connected. Okay. Can you open the adapter setting?
Sure. Let me show you another way. So just go to this change adapter options and just
enable
go
and disable.
Yes.
Yeah. This will work. Yeah. Response.
Done, guys. So another helpful tip by one of our viewer. Okay, so now you would be able to communicate with your firewall 10.1.0.111. Now let me do one thing. Just open a Mozilla Firefox. So I would always recommend you all to use Mozilla Firefox to access your firewall. Now HTTPS. This is the IP address of your firewall 10.1.0.111. Now guys, this would be the certificate error, because the certificate that you got from your firewall, your basically your browser don't understand that certificate. That is the reason you are getting this yellow screen. Now you just have to click on advanced, accept the risk and continue. Once you click on it, you will get the username and password admin access. Now username would be admin, password would be admin. Same like CLI, you have to use same login credentials that you already used in your CLI. So again, the first page which your firewall going to reflect over here would be your dashboard. So this would be your dashboard page. Now on the dashboard, so this is your PaloAlto Pan OS 9.0, right? So it is telling you some new features about this new version. Click on it, do not show, and close. Now guys, on the left hand side you can see journal information tab. Now it is telling you the device name, it is telling you the management IP address, the gateway, and the subnet mask. Clear? This would be your IPv6 link local address and software version. That this is basically your firewall software version, right, which is 9.0.0. and global protect agent, as of now we don't have this agent with us, so this would be your URL filtering version, right? And this is the time of this firewall, and uptime is 0 days. From last 7 minutes your firewall is up, right? And this is your plugin name. Now here you can see the admin activities who have logged in this device. First we logged in this device by using console through CLI, then we moved to GUI, right? So guys, you can also check the logs from your dashboard. Now you can check last 20 commands by checking these logs. So these are your commands logs, right? Logs, we will discuss about it later in future classes, right? Next is your system logs. So your system log says config installed, port management 10 gig, which is working on 10 full duplex basically, right? So these kind of some system logs are available, right? Now guys, let me tell you few more things. You can look at you can also see system resources, right? You can drag and drop those resources over here. You can manage your dashboard according to your requirement, right? So this is your management CPU, data plane CPU, and session count. So guys, in tomorrow class we will be discussing about the PaloAlto firewall architecture, right? We will discuss about the PaloAlto firewall architecture. Now look at this point. You have different CPU for management and you have different CPU for data plane. Clear? So I'll let you know why we have two CPUs. For management plane and for data plane we have two CPUs in my firewall. But if I talk about any router or other device, they only have one CPU for management plane and data plane. Now, so this is another difference, right? Now guys, on the dashboard you can also change the layout, 2 columns, 3 columns. You have all the options to manage it, right? So you can also change the widget setting and all, log setting, right? Whatever you want to see over here. This is your refresh button, this is your help button. So guys, just click on help button. So that would be your another guide, like I told you, the tech notes, which is docs.paloaltonetworks.com, and the next, this is your next guide. I would suggest you all guys to just go through with this guide, right? So it will if you want to learn more about high availability, so it will let you know about the high availability. So basically I am reading about the dashboard tab, right? On the left hand side, network tab is also there. In network tab you can see network interfaces, right? So you have all the things, guys. So this is your layer 3 sub interface. So it will let you know how to configure it, what is layer 3 interface, what is tag, what is net flow profile, what is virtual router. So this would be the another helpful, very helpful book for your PAN OS. Clear? Now okay, so let us configure some interface on this firewall. To configure an interface on this firewall, you have to go to this tab, which is network tab. Then you have to move to interface, then Ethernet. Right after that, you will see all available interfaces. Now, so the first interface, which is your 1/1, right? So first interface is your network adapter 1, and the next interface would be the network adapter 2, right? Now let me show you your VMware settings. Just right click on it, settings. So this is your network adapter 1, which is custom part of the VMnet, and bridge. For bridge we are using different IP addressing. So let me show you that IP addressing as well. Open network and sharing center. Okay, let me show you one more thing. Just try to ping host run host 8.8.8. As of now, we are not able to ping the public IP address or public DNS server, which is 8.8.8. Right now, so it means my firewall don't have internet reachability. So to configure internet reachability, first we have to configure our interfaces. So I am going to configure 1/2 as a outside interface. Now to configure your 1/2, first look at your adapter interface. So just click on it, properties. Okay, so the series which I am using is 192.168.1 series. So close. Now comment. Outside, you can put some comments. Outside interface. This is your outside interface. Now guys, interface type, right? Interface type, we have 4 to 5 interface types in PaloAlto. In PaloAlto device, we have 4 to 5 types. We will talk about these types by tomorrow. The tap mode, the HA mode, the virtual wire, the layer 2 and layer 3. As of now, I am selecting the layer 3. Right? Now, once you select layer 3, these options got changed automatically. Right? Now, next is you have to give a virtual router. As of now, I am choosing